Welcome back, everybody. All right, so let's hop straight into this. Before we do, though, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. We're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. We're going to start in Poland today, and today is gonna be a very Polish day. Poland is going to expand a lot. Also, if you can't tell by my voice, I am sick while making this video, so please support me. Send some subscribers. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. We are insanely close to 1,000. We are literally like 17 off at the time of making this. Okay, so they're gonna expand over there. They're not gonna stop though. They're gonna expand in one more direction. Remember these guys, the Estonian Balkan thing? This, and this are all controlled by Crimea at the moment. Crimea is maintaining a presence in there, and the rest is controlled by the Estonian government. Poland is going to be like, you know what? You don't get any control, and they're going to actually launch an invasion. Now, they're going to say that Estonia is literally, this is quote the Polish leader, Estonia is literally just taking up land at this point, and they're not doing anything with the land. So, for the better of the Polish state and its people, and also the people of Estonia, Poland is going to take all of this and actually industrialize it. See, that's genuinely crazy. After getting about yay far, the Estonians are going to instantly sign a peace treaty, and Crimea is actually going to step in, basically tell Poland that they need to stop the advance immediately. And Poland will listen, however, they will also get a nice little chunk of land out of this. And this is definitely probably one of the final nails in the coffin for the Estonians. They're definitely going to collapse soon. Next thing we're going to do is actually expansion of Moscow. Actually, before we do that, we're gonna say Poland is going to expand a little bit more over here also, just because that looks really, really bad. Uh, and you know what? They're going to expand this thing too. Just, yeah. So they have really quite a bit expanded, quite a bit this episode. And Poland is definitely becoming a really, really big power. They're, I guess they're kind of the Central European Union at this point. Like France. France is the Western European Union. The two are becoming really powerful. They're also the only two like real European countries. I'm not considering this European. I'm gonna consider this Mediterranean. And then Austria is barely even a state. Like they've done nothing the entire series. So it's really just these two if you think about it. And I guess Crimea, but Crimea is more Middle Eastern, especially because when they were created, it was like all Middle Eastern people. Anyways, Moscow is going to expand a bit. They're going to expand quite a bit because basically they're going to realize that them cutting off contact with the outside world means that they need to like expand themselves, and they need to capture territories to basically make them like stronger. They need to make themselves much stronger. They also need food, and that's mainly a reason for this expansion. Also, this land is literally free. Like they have nobody living here, so for them all this is free. They can do whatever they want here. Anyways, let's move on from there. Let's go to India. Now, India, I'm going to be honest. I think the Mughals are realizing that this little state is really unprofitable. So they start pulling all their investments and support out of the state, and they basically tell the blue team that that they're willing to literally evacuate the people. Take some will go to the Mughals, some will go to the blue team, and they're willing to evacuate all those people and literally uncolonize the land, kind of the same way Persia is right now, like just uncolonized land. And well, the blue team agrees, and this is after Mughals kind of proved their intention with this by literally burning down the capital, forcing a lot of people to evacuate. However, sadly for the blue team and the Mughals, a lot actually go into here, like this little buffer zone type thing. That's a part of these guys, but they're basically cut off from it. And with that, this thing falls and it becomes an uncolonized thing. Oh, I forgot to give those guys a capital, so we'll just give them a capital right there. And then these guys actually want the blue team to sell them like any piece of land that connects them to this thing. However, the blue team is like, hell no. They also offer the blue team trade this land. So the blue team can have all of this, they can have that. Blue team also says no, but the blue team does offer to buy all of this, which these guys say no to, obviously. With that, oh, also these guys aren't in the blue team alliance anymore. I forgot about that. So yeah, they're kind of on their own because they're really broken. They're definitely gonna go through a revolution soon. Uh, I guess for now they're a part of the blue team alliance, kind of. So I'll mark them. But definitely a revolution coming soon. Stay tuned for that. Subscribe so you don't miss that. Uh, Next thing, the world at this point, the economic growth, the world's like combined GDP, I want to say is around 500 trillion, right? 500 trillion. Blue team is like 110 trillion. I remember this. 110. Red team is 65. Crimea is 50. So those guys are the top three. So 110 plus 65 plus 50. Hold up. Let me pull out a calculator. I don't want to do this in my head. 50, 65. Okay, 225 trillion. So they're literally like more than almost half of the entire world GDP is just those three countries. Now, as you've been seeing in these past videos, red team has been getting into a lot of wars. Blue team has been getting in a lot of wars, and Crimea's growth is also kind of actually Crimea is the only one that's kind of remaining good. Like they're not booming anymore, but like they're still growing at a pretty good pace. And I'm not gonna lie, I think at this point there is a global recession because Shanghai cut their exports outside of East Asia, and they also cut their imports, and they were a very big market for Crimea, which is definitely going to mean that Crimea's economy is going to start going down slowly and slowly. But so is Shanghai, because they have no one to sell to, and their entire economy was built off of selling things. So they're actually going to completely crash because no one in this East Asian region is rich enough to buy their goods. Saigon mainly produces its own things. Philippines buys all of its stuff from Indonesia, Malaysia, and the blue team, and Japan, uh, Japan, the people in Japan don't have things to buy, don't have the money to buy things. So like, let's just ignore Japan for now. Uh, but this is so all the top countries, their economies are failing, and actually, this has been happening for like 5 episodes now, and it finally catches up to the world now, where the entire global economy, for the first time in like 20 episodes, goes down instead of up. Not even stagnation, it goes down. And it slowly has been going down. This is like right here is like 5 6 episodes ago, and you can see it's been going down. This is when all the blue team red team stuff was happening, and at this point, this episode is finally the one where it just tanks. It's not going down anymore. It's just tanking, and I'm not gonna lie. This is where we're at right now, and it's not looking really good. So the blue team, they're gonna call a New Zealand conference. They're gonna call everybody, and everyone's going to begin talking about this. Now, probably a major dip right here happened because of the blue team's loss in India, which made them go really isolation, like made them really rethink their military. The blue team red team war over here was what probably like set all this off because that killed like the world's two most strongest economies for like a whole episode. It just killed them off. Uh, Not looking good. Uh, every country actually at this point is now every country's economy is now going down, some more drastic than others. However, there are only 4 or 5 countries whose economies are going up. No, actually, there's only 2 countries whose economies are going up, and there's only 3 countries whose economy is kind of like just remaining even, a little bit up, a little bit down. However, it's remaining even. Every other country, their economy is going down. Most are tanking, some are gradually decreasing, but almost all are going down. So those 2 countries that are going up right now is the Mughals, because like this is probably the best thing that could happen for them. A country that's like cut off from the entire world, and the entire world is having a financial crisis. Don't worry, these guys haven't like done anything to make their economy go up. Their economy was always like barely growing, but now because of the war that they won, they just inherited so much stuff, so it's booming, and the rest of the world is cooked. So like a lot of companies are shifting over here as well. It's just making them boom even more, and they're not connected to the rest of the world. Globalization has not impacted them yet. So like that's also helping. And the second country whose economy is still growing is probably the. Oh, this is. Huh. This is a very good thing. Probably like. Hmm. Uh. Oh, actually, South Africa, because these guys just got created and they're in a pretty good position, but they haven't even had time to like import stuff or anything like that. So theirs is just like completely booming. However, it doesn't really count. And then the ones that are stagnating are Crimea. They're remaining even. They have the money to support themselves. Those guys are remaining even. The the Abuja Republic is remaining even, and I'm gonna say Indonesia is remaining even. Everyone other than that is going down. Now there are only like four countries that are like going down gradually. Everyone else is absolutely tanking. Now these four countries are probably gonna be Shanghai. Actually, no, they're tanking. Uh, these guys they're going down gradually. These guys are going down gradually. These guys are going down gradually. Actually, hold up. Everyone in this like circle, Stanistan Empire, and then these three are going down gradually. Everybody else is tanking. And the ones who are impacted the most, the top three most like going down, are probably the blue team, who went from 110 trillion to 85 trillion. Red team, who went from 65 to 45. So both of those guys are like dying. And Shanghai, who went from 20 trillion to a measly 5 trillion. So their economy is completely like decimated. The new ranking for this is a yapping episode. That's what I just realized. It's fine. The new ranking for the who is the I forgot what I was gonna say. Who is like the GDP rankings now? Probably number one place, still blue team. Like it's not even close. Red team fell to 45, which is just under Crimea, who was at 50 before, and now they're at 48. So Crimea's second place now, and then third place. Oh, Moguls. They went from 5 trillion to, in the span of like one episode, 47 trillion. So 1 trillion behind Crimea, and yeah, so they're third. I would say red team's probably fourth, and then Shanghai is not fifth. Who's fifth? Fifth might be like the Ottomans or something weird like that. I'm gonna say fifth is the Indonesians. Indonesia is not doing that bad. I'm gonna be honest. Like Indonesia is probably like stagnating. So Indonesia with a total of like 10 trillion is, I guess, up on the board. Nothing really happened. They just learned how to make their economy not grow or decrease. So they remain the same as they have, like, since 5 episodes ago. But I guess that was enough because everyone else decreased. Anyway, the blue team is going to try to revive everyone's economies. They're basically going to say that we need to open trades, open borders, and the whole world is going to come together except for four countries, which is going to be Shanghai, Saigon, the Mughals, and uh, and Crimea. Other than these four, everybody is gonna agree to this. Borders are gonna be destroyed. Like literally not destroyed, but like they're not gonna like they're not gonna politically try to outcast people's exports. So like sanctions are gonna be lifted and everything globally, and they're just gonna let you import everything from any country to kind of like get the world going a bit. So we were down here. We started like up here, and then the blue team, red team stuff happened. It went down here. I guess this is gonna hold up. Let me so yeah, we were over here, right? It's gonna, I guess, make it stagnate but not grow. Like barely grow. And the blue team's gonna do one more thing. All the gold that's in this, they're gonna burn a lot of it. A lot of the illegal gold mines, they're gonna shut a lot of them down. They're gonna nationalize gold. Not only gold, they're nationalizing all resources, and they're gonna sell them all at a really, really like cheap price. And then as a lot of people are buying, it's going to allow a lot of new countries to develop. However, right when that's happening, they're going to jack up the price like 500%, and that's going to kill the global economy I know I said kill, but it's still rising. Let me explain. So it's gonna kill the global economy. However, blue team's economy is gonna skyrocket. Their little like going down thing is gonna completely reverse, and they're gonna go up higher than they've ever gone before and reach 150 trillion. First country in the world to do so. 150 trillion, and that's why I showed this rising, because they're just going to be such a big influence that technically it's going to rise, and they're going to claim that all this is working because technically the global economy is rising. Yet inflation in every other country is going to become so bad. Everyone else is going to completely get destroyed. Red team, who was second place? Crimea was with 48. Yeah, they're going to fall down to 30. Mughals, they were number 3, I remember. They were 47, right? 27. The red team, what were they? What were the red team? They were like 10 trillion, I remember. They were like, no, maybe they were not. 40 trillion, something like that. They're going to fall down to 10 trillion. Shanghai, they're going to become the first country to fall under a trillion. They're going to go 900 billion. First country in the history of this series, like first major country in the history of the series to fall under 1 trillion in modern history of this, like past 10, 20 episodes. But also, who else is going to profit is going to be Bengal and Indonesia. They're also going to go really high, and Indonesia from 10 trillion to 40 trillion, Bengal from 25 trillion to 50 trillion. So they're gonna go up, and this is because they are kind of in the same business as the blue team. They also produce a lot of uh natural resources. Bengal because they have a lot of factories, and Indonesia because they have all of this. Like these islands are really good. So yeah, this episode was kind of a yapping episode, but I do hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. I'll see you in the next one, and in the next one, all this economic stuff that the blue team just did is definitely going to come bite them because they completely ruined their reputation. And also, I know this is giving them a short time boost, but all these countries are gonna like immediately they're gonna start. They're gonna buy the next episode. They're gonna stop buying stuff from these guys, and we'll see who emerges in that new position. But all we know right now is blue team is going really isolationist. They're going really think about the blue team first kind of ideals, and they're definitely they're gonna start like nationalizing a lot of stuff. I guess they're going to invest in themselves, and they're gonna detach themselves from the rest of the world because they saw what happened in Mughals. Mughal were the only ones that were like going up instead of down, and that's because they were detached from the rest of the world. It didn't really matter what was happening there. So blue team is gonna try to replicate that, but they're gonna find out. Probably, I think they're gonna find out it's really difficult, especially like for the Mughals. They're in one area and no one cares about them anyways. Blue team is like a major political power. Everyone cares about them, and also they have a colony in every area, like literally everywhere. So yeah, with that, I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.